One of the things that we've learned out of the pandemic is that we can deliver our programs through a variety of means. And so we can start to think about how we use these different approaches in the ways that are most effective for our students and for learning at the different stages of the life course. So it doesn't mean that we go completely online. Rather, it means what can we do virtually or remotely that's better done in those means, and use time on campus in person for the things that can be best done with those modes, but also ensure that we can deliver learning to people when they need it. Well, we've learned so many things over the last year and a half, and probably what's most important is the things that we've learned are not new. They were always there, but they were made more visible by the pandemic. And so we can start with the effects of globalization and the geopolitics that are present in the world. That's affected how the pandemic was dealt with in the early days, the tensions with China, the role of international organizations like the World Health Organization. As a result of globalization, we've lost our manufacturing capacity, and so we weren't able to produce the personal protective equipment, the medical supplies that we so urgently needed. So those were all trends that were already underway, but they really became apparent. And as we come out of the pandemic, we have to think about how we address those types of challenges. We've also seen the impact on society, and we've seen how different groups in our society were affected in different ways, both by the disease as well as the measures that we took, the public health measures. And quite often they're the same communities. And so it's not surprising for me as a public health physician to see where the hotspots were, because they were the same areas that we had high rates of other types of disease related to risk factors in those communities, the type of housing that people have, the types of jobs that people have. And so it really reveals to us the importance of understanding the social determinants of health and to work on those broader issues which go well beyond the health system. But there's also some wonderful lessons. The fact that we were able to produce these vaccines in less than a year and start to roll them out. At the start of the pandemic, people, myself included, were looking at 4 to 7 years as the time that most vaccines took to develop. And this is really the product of many years of science, in particular fundamental science, going back 30, 40 years, that led to the development of messenger RNA vaccines. And it was that investment in university-based research. We talk about the Pfizer vaccine, but it came out of Oxford. We talk about the Moderna vaccine, it came out of Harvard. So these are the result of many years of university-based research. And so it really reinforces the importance of continuing to invest in research and education and developing these kinds of products for the future.